I'm feeling a little off today, both like kind of physically and emotionally. I might be getting sick, and like, yeah, like I could be getting a cold, or I could die in 3 weeks. I'm particularly baby-ish when I when I get sick. Every time, really, but the pandemic has not been any help because it's just that added level of stress. But beside that point, I'm going to channel it into some fan art. More particularly, the thing that I feel like every Pokemon fan who is also an artist, or maybe isn't, at least not anymore, did, which was try to imagine their own Eeveeloutions based off of the types that are still missing. Since Sylveon came out, obviously, we've been kind of lacking in the constant instant satisfaction that we're used to with new Eeveeloutions. I was having a conversation with my brother the other day, who is my Pokemon person. He and I've joked that like whenever I move out and we probably spend most of our time apart, that we would call each other like once a year. We're both pretty introverted people, so it would be just once a year and scream in unison to let one another know that we saw the current Pokemon news. So. But we were having a conversation, and he was talking about how with Sylveon, and I think with Leafeon and Glaceon, there aren't counteractive types to the two of them. There aren't the ones that I think he mentioned could be missing for these two is just fighting and flying, and I know that there are. Like 4 types missing? Water, fire, electric, dark, psychic, ice, now fairy, grass, flying, fighting, steel, ghost, bug. Is that it? Normal. So, God, there's 6 Eeveeloutions? 7. No. 8. 3, 6, yeah, 8. There are 8 Eeveeloutions and 14 types? I could be wrong. But regardless, there's a lot, apparently at least 6 Eeveeloutions missing. But obviously I don't have time to design them all in this case, so right now I'm just going to work on what it seems like counteractively to the other Pokemon are missing, which are flying and fighting. And another reason that I'm doing this is because I think that they were the ones that I got into designing a couple years ago, and there's a 50-50 chance they still exist somewhere on the internet, but I'm not going back onto my DeviantArt account to find them. That's how old these are. Despite that, I remember being pretty proud of them, and like there are concepts that I kind of want to keep. So like my idea, I think initially for the fighting type one, if I can remember it, and I was playing around with this a little bit, was that it would be bipedal and have like these big, as opposed to the floof. That the original 3 boats, it would have its fluff would turn into these big, fluffy boxing gloves. This, and I thought as I was playing around with the design, it'd be fun to have it be like kind of off balanced. This is the first idea that I had, and actually now instead of being bipedal, because that would be almost kind of. The way that I drew it before almost made it look like Cinderace. And instead, because all the Eeveeloutions have some emphasis on their tails, it would balance on its tail and sort of box up like a kangaroo, so that it wouldn't be as. I don't know. I feel like a fighting type Eeveeloution risks going into rabbity, which there are a lot of rabbit Pokemon. I feel like could carry that, and I don't know. You want something a little bit more original, and there aren't a lot of kangaroo Pokemon. Like, there's Kangaskhan, and that's about it. They usually have these tiny little round faces, so that's why I'm keeping that up. Another reason that it's looked rabbity for me was because they always have these long ears. Get rid of these for a second. They always have these long ears. I thought maybe they could be longer and then, like, tied back, sort of. But then, yeah, like, when I go into, like, having relatively big feet, even for the kangaroo aspect, it starts to look very rabbity there, so. This Eeveeloution skips leg day. I noticed, too, that most of the Eeveeloutions beside Umbreon don't really have visible pupils. Oh, Wait, I may have spoken too soon. Umbreon and Espeon do. The original 3 don't really. Or, not Umbreon, Espeon. Glaceon and Leafeon do. Espeon does not. Umbreon does. So it could be a hit or a miss. Then when we went newer, going back to Sylveon, it looks like they kind of forewent the design again. Trying to get that good head shape. Let me get a look at a kangaroo. So yeah, really, God, kangaroos have big arms, actually. Like, I'm sure you've seen the memes of, like, they're super muscular kangaroos. So maybe I could do... Every part of them is giant, and they're really just like a giant rabbit, aren't they? But if we were to go more kangaroo-like while keeping the kind of Eevee look, it would actually be the other way around, with a smaller upper body and a larger back body, and then, like... I picked too dark of a color for this, that's alright. What Pokemon generation do you think was the last one, if you're a fan of Pokemon, that you were super overhyped for? Mine, I think, the current generation was okay. I actually had a lot more fun with it than I think that, people give it credit for. Oh, jeez. I just realized the second segment of their leg is super long too, like this. Mine had to have been Generation 6. 6? Kalos. And look at those feet. Because of Sylveon. I think that was announced pretty early. And then, like, the fairy typing, but also the Mega Evolutions. And, like, one thing I was particularly excited for, and maybe that's why I'm so kangaroo-driven right now, is... It's not stylized enough, but that might be a good direction. Was the what is it called? The parental bond. The parental bond Kangaskhan. And her little baby that came out of the pouch, and you got two hit moves. But I was just super excited because I loved all the Kangaskhan lore and theories and stuff like that. And I was like, why doesn't it have its own separate evolution? Why is it born with a baby? It's just so it's so weird to me. And so, like, getting some love for Kangaskhan, I think was a lot for me. And for, like, the whole, like, year before it came out, I had a notebook that I put a cover on with just a piece of paper, and it was a drawing of you know what though? Its ears aren't all that big. Well, maybe I could do something like this. Wow. Does that look fun? What was I talking about? Oh yeah, I had a notebook with the cover on it, and it had the little baby Kangaskhan just by itself on it. And it said, "Mama said knock you out," which is also from, at least used in one of the Kangaroo Jack movies. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going back there. Do you remember those? What were those about? I don't remember. Maybe its legs are just super skinny, but long. I'm trying to remember, was it treasure? I know they were trying to get the kangaroo for something. Ooh, what happened there? Ah! What happened? What happened? Oh. Okay, do I still have that? Okay. I had that in my clipboard still. I do not know what happened there. Maybe it was when I selected things and moved it around? Probably. Their eyes take up the majority of the face. Something that I'm not used to anymore. Eeveeloutions don't have much for noses, so I'm not trying to go full kangaroo here. In the face, at least. Pokemon don't have paws. They do and they don't. They have the implied form of paws. You can imagine, too, this is like... its fight animations are it bounces up onto its tail and then it just, like, slings forward. Gosh, I forget what I even called this. I know they had names, and I feel like I remember one of them. But I don't remember the other. I can't remember. Oh, that's gonna bug me. Okay, I think I like this one. I think that we've warmed up significantly, and I enjoy this one. Is it 100% Eeveeloution-y? I don't know. I could bring it back further like this one. I actually kind of like the pose. The rocked back form of this one. Just for its, just for full motion potential here. I forget, do the Eeveeloutions, they have their own little, like, nickname definitions. This one could be the kickboxing Pokemon. God, what did I call it? Well, we'll have to think of a name for this one anyway. I'll drag this guy over here for a second and work on another set of sketches before I continue here. I want to make sure that I get a solid idea for the flying type before I get tired. I know the one that I had before was very ethereal and cloudy. So let's see. Maybe they'll have the big alien no pupil eyes. Now if we're getting these Pokemon together, which would make sense too because they're actually opposites too, I feel like I want them to share kind of a trait. So maybe making them sort of bipedal would be interesting. And like, so the flying type has this sort of no hands situation that a lot of Pokemon get when they evolve. Very goddess Nike wings, no arms situation. Statue of Nike at least. And then like teeny tiny little feet. Maybe even like bird-like feet. And then like, sort of like Altaria, it has these big cloudy floofs that sort of surround it. This one almost looks like a flying chinchilla. Or I mean, we could go a more aggressive route and make it look like a griffin. And then you have that sense of duality that you got something maybe very disciplined and then something that's very hard to tame. We'll keep Cutie over here for a second. And just sort of go out. Really could keep the bipedal thing though. That might be interesting. Just have its wings sort of tucked up. Maybe it has little talons. Great here. That might be good. A bit more streamlined. Maybe like, I don't even know what they're called. Those. The little feathers by the ears, Captain America style. Oh god, I know there's a god or something that uses them. Is it? Who is it? It's the one that also has them on his ankles, right? Just facing it today. There are Pokemon that evolve at low friendship, right? I like this idea, but I don't like the way it looks right now. Get rid of this head. I don't like this head. Maybe stuff of like a harpy eagle. You ever see those things? Gosh, they're huge. And they're so, they look like mythical creatures. Like, if you're not using a harpy griffin to inspire your griffin, like, or harpy eagle to inspire your griffin, then like you're missing out. Or you're very original. I don't know, is that too removed from the Eeveeloutions? Think totally? It's much pudgier, isn't it? Yeah. Definitely doesn't. This doesn't really suit the Eeveeloutions now either, does it? You could probably just go for a bigger head. On the wrong layer. Gotcha. Gigantic head. Okay. That'll work for that. He's top heavy anyway. It's fine. I mean, let's face it. Either of these could just be Eevee with boxing gloves and Eevee with wings, but I wanted to go for something a bit different. I don't really like that, so I don't know. Well, should I keep it around? Yeah, let's do that. I have this tendency of getting insecure about my sketches, but it's good to have them around for reference's sake, because there are things I like about them. Just need to remind myself of that. So you go over here with the cute one. Go for like kind of a mix of the two of them, really. Drawing on my reference layer. Looks almost alien here. Okay, get rid of this part. I like this part. Let's see this for a second. So we got those. Listen, I don't think all the pure flying types need to look all airy. We can have one that looks kind of tough, right? These are looking less and less like Eeveeloutions, though. I'm sure there's, like, rules, like, they do actually have to be quadrupedal, because they all are. Let's just let this one is looking as okay as the other ones. Yeah, I'm probably going back to cute, aren't I? Oh, look at that. If I go with like making it based off of a griffin, but don't make it like super aggressive looking and keep a lot of the cutesy Eevee traits, like, it could work. Like that? Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah, I think that works for their contrast. I I compromised between my two original ideas, okay? Now, can I make this guy look a little bit more Eevee-ish? I basically do the same thing that I accidentally did there and just draw over some minorly chibier, not chibier, but like big features, cute features. Going for the potential Umbreon vibes here in the face seems to be a win. Give it a bit more of a muzzle. There we go. Proper giant arms of kangaroo evolution and a very teeny tiny pet birdie evolution. Let's see if I can get these two colored in their type associations. Alright, I think we can say goodbye to my reference for now. Okay, I think I'm back to talk a little bit about my idea for color for the designs here. I'm gonna wait to fill in their eyes until I figure out like what I what I like about them. When it comes to fighting types, and I'm just going full on because the Eeveeloutions kind of represent the full aesthetic of the element they represent. That's the wrong layer. That then I would just start using those and kind of work my way out into a solid design idea. Because I know these don't look like the Pokemon style, like even the newest one. So like, you know, at this point it's like maybe just trying to get them to look decent standing alongside the Eeveeloutions, but already I know they're probably not going to look totally like them, and that's fine. Desaturate this a little bit. And then these lines that I drew here would remind myself that I wanted it to look kind of kangaroo-ish around, like they have these lighter areas. Oh, it's too yellow. Around their belly and stuff like that. I thought would be good to have. Don't mind me just fighting with my art tools here. I might make the gloves. Oh, actually, make them red, the classic boxing gloves. I think I did that before too. Oh, is that too samey with the fur tone? Oh, looks like it might be. The paw print's red. It'd be fun. Add in some of that redness here. Do it on the tail. That looks nice. Okay, now the eyes. Again, most of the Eeveeloutions tend to have either. Well, Sylveon started. Well, it's still got a color from its color palette in there, doesn't it? I guess we could try red eyes. Yeah, it's usually just something that's smaller in the rest of their color palette. So maybe like this. Maybe just a dark brown. Could work though, actually. It's just got fight in its eyes. And of course some shinies. Too little coverage for that red then on that size of eye. I think so. Probably that. That's kind of funky. Makes his eyes look kind of like a target. So that's fun. I like that. Maybe a little bit of decor on his head. Or his cheeks. I could still imagine though. So you've got a very obviously powerful and fighty Pokemon, but it's very disciplined. So these guys actually, when they're not fighting, very polite. You know, very kind. You wouldn't expect it out of them. They get a bad rap because of it, right? It's because of the way that they look and the fact that they're fighting types, and that's what they love to do. But it's like once they're done fighting, they're done. You know, they just hang out. And then the bird Pokemon is actually kind of a butt. Like, it's maybe a little spoiled, and actually hard to train because it doesn't like to listen. I think that flying is still... Yeah, it's like a purpley blue. So actually, ironically, not a sky blue. Which is good, because we don't want this looking like Altaria. Oh, come on. But yeah, it's like, of the two of them, the flying type is probably the ironically harder one to train, because the fighting type one has already been trained. You know? It just looks angry, but it's sweetheart. The flying type looks adorable and is a hellion. I shouldn't make it that obvious. Actually, forgot some lines back here. Let's get that other wing into the shot, because it's supposed to be there. Then yeah, like you've got all of your duality, I think, even in personality between these two. You've got the active pose and the passive pose and the grumpy and then the cute, but then their personalities are total opposite of what you'd expect them to be. Yeah. There we go. It looks super cute. How can you stay mad at that face? I think that suits the red better. The number of colors seems to be limited at the very least, especially in the later generations. Not just monochrome anymore, thank God, but also obviously limited to like maybe 3 colors, so like the color of their element, and then maybe like a suiting but contrasting color to it, and lighter version. Birdie might have too many. Now let's think of some names for these guys. Oop. It's always lighting little the last minute touches. Okay. So I think, remember the old name that I gave my first bird evolution. Flying. Gosh. Excuse me while I continue to add little details. I think I proceeded to call it Glideon, which does make sense. Keeps with the Eon name. I just feel like that I could do better. I wish I feel like there's a name for bird that I'm totally spacing here. Gosh, I'm having such a hard time remembering. Well, they store birds called an aviary, so yeah, it's about that. Avion sounds okay. Maybe like something to do with the sky instead? Go for something like, believe it or not, that would be not Celion. And the fighting type, I totally forgot what I called this one. I think I was kind of proud of it, but I don't remember what it was at all. I'm not good at coming up with names. Words that mean fight. Action, altercation, a scuffle, a skirmish, a feud, a match. Ooh, you know what would be good? Right? Meleon. Meleon? Meleon? Different ways to say it. I think I'm just gonna keep Eevee for this one for now, because the other one is a bit obscure. At least for an English variant. Get the lines looking all nice here. Maybe get some Pokemon style shading on them. Gosh, the shading does help these look much more dynamic, doesn't it? I need to do it more often. I've been skimping on my shading. I'd say this is in honor of Pokemon's 25th birthday, even though it's very late. You know, better late than never. Some of these colors are icky. Clean that up a little bit too. And maybe this Pokemon could be one of the ones that has Truant besides the Slakoth line. I just imagine it as like a little terror. As I've been told birds are. Like pet birds. Don't mind me just adding more last second details. You know, that changed the entire design. It's cool. I think that's good. Let's bring my Eevees back in here. Oop. And not move the entire shading layer. What do we think? What do you think? Totally can't tell the difference, right? I don't think they're bad though. I think that they're mine. And I really like experimenting with things like this, but obviously it's fan art for stuff that I'm probably, you know, not going to see a job for in my lifetime. Fingers crossed, but you know, gosh, no, I'd have to learn Japanese. I do like these, and I do think that they're an improvement. You're gonna just have to trust me on my original Eeveeloutions that I did, fake Eeveeloutions I did forever ago. That's a good color. Yeah. That they weren't my best, obviously. Although I remember being proud of those, so I don't know. Maybe I'll look for them at some point or another. Should I make it fancy? Okay, that was a lot of tapping. I'm sure you didn't see the majority of that, or it was sped up, because that takes a minute, but it's fun. That needs to be cropped. And then I'm going to finally leave this here. Feeling a little bit better, I think, after just kind of hanging out and doodling, making some things that make me happy. You know, that's always one thing. It's like, I've never been good at venting feeling icky, but I can make myself feel better by drawing something cute. So I think that's more the way to go. And let me know what you think. Let me know what your own interpretations of the extra types of Eeveeloutions might be. I'm not even sure if they're gonna make any more, but who knows? I could see something like if they're going to add anything to the new Legends games, which I don't know whether or not they will, but if they would, I could imagine this is a long lost ancient the method of evolving your Pokemon or something like that. That it's something that's been lost to time and that you can recover. That would be honestly the easiest gimmick to get away with some new evolutions, and honestly, I'd be here for it. What was your first Pokemon generation? Mine was 3. I couldn't even read, but I'm playing through it again as a Nuzlocke. I'm playing it through again and I'm attempting a Nuzlocke, but I've already desperately failed and lost too many. I don't have the heart for it, and I'm actually kind of awful at Pokemon. But I'm getting back into it. Especially with the new remakes coming out. First gen and only gen, really, that I've fully beaten is Gen 4. Which is surprising, because Gen 3 is my gen, and I'm pretty sure I got pretty far in it, but I don't remember anything, which is why I'm playing through it again. Alright, yeah, I'm rambling about Pokemon, because I like it, so let me know, and I'll see y'all next time.